nation's climate is troubling. Sending our children to school is no longer worry-free. It's daunting. The continual mass violence makes everyday safety feel unpredictable, no matter where we go. The influence it has on children, parents, school staff makes receiving a solid education more and more challenging. We are fighting this epidemic one interview at a time. I am Audra, and this is Solar Guard Safe. Today I'm speaking with educator and politician Delaine Eastin. She has spent her life advocating for a better educational experience for students and teachers, and was most recently a candidate in the 2018 California gubernatorial election. So what about education was your main platform? I mean, education was your main platform, but what about it that you wanted to change?
Oh, it's several-fold. I mean, first, we are the only first-world country that doesn't have universal preschool. Steepest curve of brain development is 0 to 5, so we need to do a lot more to give those kids scaffolding. The fact that kindergarten isn't mandatory in California is ridiculous. It should be mandatory, it should be full day. The decline in student investment, 41st in per pupil, number 1 in per prisoner. If budgets are statements of values, that's a disgusting statement of values. And so what I want for every kid is a great education, and that's the best way to stop incarceration. But it's also the best way to grow the economy. And the reason the Silicon Valley was born here was the confluence of great educational opportunities.
What is it that we can do to give these kids a solid education when they're already now fearful that one of their classmates, may be a killer?
This is the big challenge of our time, and I will say to you, California was one of the first states to have a school shooting. Stockton happened many years ago.
Right.
And one of the things that was stunning about that was, when I became superintendent of schools for the state, I got together with Republican Attorney General Dan Lundgren, and we decided we would create a task force made up of educators and school counselors and police and social workers, and talk about how we could do a better job creating plans for schools to be safe. In the short term, we need to do a lot more to bring the counselors back, to lower the class sizes, and to identify the challenges that many of these children are having in a mental health sense. Because while some of the shooters are adults who shoot from off-site, many of the shooters are kids who shoot on-site.
Right. And
so and it isn't enough to say we're going to have see-through backpacks. I mean, that's like the dumbest thing almost I could imagine. It's far better that we would be on our toes and alert to kids that are acting out, to kids that obviously have signs of trauma, to students who are clearly suffering under some kind of a egregious burden of life. Some parent got cancer and the kid got depressed. I mean, there were lots of different traumas that express themselves in every classroom, in every school, every day. So what we have to do is be much more nimble about creating scaffolding to help these kids, engaging them. First, music, drama, athletics, it's all important. Keeping the kids involved, engaged, and connected.
Is there anything that each school should have mandatory?
I think, schools do need to have plans for what happens if there's an active shooter, if there's some kind of a, plane crash nearby. We got to have plans. We've got to do a better job of designing the schools so that there are fewer access points so we can control who comes in and goes out. We've got to do a better job of making everybody feel like a team at the school, and all the adults and all the kids together on the team. Because, there are so many teachers that I've met who say, the word associated with teaching is isolation. I go into my classroom with my 30 kids and I'm in there all day, and then I go home. And there's not the time and the opportunity for the various teachers to talk to each other and to work together. And we have to create more of an opportunity to do that. I think realistically, though, we need to treat this profession with much greater respect than we have up to now. Life is not a bowl of cherries. Sometimes it's a chair of bolies, as somebody said to me one time. And it's, you never know when you're going to be dealt a really hard hand. And yet, if you've got people around that are paying attention, that are willing to be those mentors and femtors and supporters and peer friends, then you can make a difference. It isn't just about the teachers, though. It's about everybody thinking about everything as a team. And so we got to make sure the kids are looking after each other as well as the adults looking after the kids.
But if they see something dangerous, but they don't think it's dangerous, they're afraid to stand up.
Well, I mean, I think this is the whole lesson of being a citizen in a democracy, that you have to stand up, that we the people are together in this endeavor called America.
Thank you.
The best line, I think, is Neil Postman, and this will give you chills, I imagine, as a mom. Children are living messages we send to a time we will never see. What is our message? I hope it's one of hope and support and nurturing and, yes, scholarship, but also social responsibility.